there are many fine detectives. Well, that is not true. There are many average detectives. But to be what I am, it requires fixedness of mind. The little gray cell is pampered, indulged, given only oxygen in my blood and minutes on my clock. No, I leave the tempest of love to you. But what of Denise? A beguiling lady, no? Is she? A cool, methodical brain of the highest order. She sings well, too.
Ooh, I hadn't noticed. She's, a schoolmate of Lynette's?
You're trying to keep secrets from me? From me? From me? Rosalie Otterborn is an overtly beautiful woman, and Book has not spoken to her once.
It's nothing short of gobsmack love. Look, I've been bursting to tell you. Lynette introduced us months ago, and since then there hasn't been another woman I've wanted to look at, except as a nanny to our children. She is the cleverest, most shocking, most alive woman I've ever met. I'm outclassed in a breath, and she loves me anyway, and it's the only bad mark against her.
Mon ami Book, amoureux, shouting from the rooftops, huh?
Oh, no, not where the mother can hear.
Madame Book does not support the much, huh?
She's never cared for anyone I've ever brought home, unless it was clear that they were only staying the night. Being American doesn't help either. Mother doesn't approve of people being born outside Mayfair. She's furious at Lynette for making us a pair.
And her opinion, does it matter?
Money matters. Mine comes monthly from Euphemia Book. I've tried to earn enough so that I don't need her permission to marry, only her blessing. I'm just rotten at it. All my life, I never wanted to be anything to anyone but an amusement. But for Rosalie, I want to be good.
What's going on, ladies and gents in Cyberland? Coming back to you with another film review, and this time we're on to the sequel from Murder on the Orient Express. Death on the Nile. So this film, I don't know, I would say if it picks up how many years after the first film, I don't know. But I will say it's on a cruise ship, and Kenneth Branagh's character, Hercule, that's how you say his name. Yeah, Hercule, the detective. He is just on a trip, enjoying himself, and then he meets a bunch of different people. And of course, he runs into one of his good friends again that was in the first film, but he's with his mother this time too. And there happens to be a murder on the boat. And then it turns into like, okay, ain't nobody leaving this boat until we figure out who killed the person. Got to find out who did it and why. And just like the first film, starts peeling back the layers of the onion, and we start to see that certain characters had some type of involvement in the death of a female. That's who got killed, and reasonings behind it. And little by little we see that it's a lot more complicated than it seems. This film, for the most part, I enjoyed, but it wasn't as good as the first one. And the reason I think it wasn't as good as the first one for me was the music. The singing and the dancing start to get on my fucking nerves. I understand that they were trying to liven it up a little bit, but for me, it just, I don't want to have to sit through songs, and I wouldn't say songs, but I don't want to have to sit through music scenes to get the gist of the film or to enjoy the film. I'm not into that. I don't like musicals either, if I haven't said before. I'm not a fan of them. I think there's a couple musicals I can tolerate, but in general, I don't want to have to listen to a song to get the gist of what's going on in the scene of the movie. That was kind of a little annoying to me. The characters too were cool, but they weren't as interesting to me as much as the first set of characters from the first film. But I did like, we got more backstory on Hercule and where he came from. I did like that. Film wasn't boring. The film was still good. I just felt it wasn't as good as part 1. And I just found out there's going to be a part 3 coming out soon. So I'm interested to see how that's going to be. I'd like to know. As far as the overall pace of the film, it's decent. It drags a little bit, just a little bit, but not too much. As far as the music goes, the music of the film that was orchestrated, that was fine, but outside of the dancing and the singing, I didn't really care for that. Hercule to me seemed a lot more livened up a little bit, I think, but still trying to cope with what had happened to him from World War One. And I think we get some of that this time around as opposed to the first film. As far as my rating for the film, I give it an 8 out of 10 yes sirs. Again, there was just a little, it was, like I said, the character, the cast was fine, but the characters just weren't as memorable to me as the first one, and they weren't as interesting as the first one. Nonetheless, if you've seen the first film, watch the second film. I definitely wouldn't say not to watch it. I would just say it's just, I don't think it's as good as the first. But still a good film. Definitely, I would watch it again from time to time. And I'm looking forward to seeing if the third film will be better than the second or the first, or will it just be better than the second. So we'll have to wait and see. I can't say that you should watch the second film. You should have seen the first film before you watch this, but because one of the characters was from the first film is in this, I think you should, only based off of that. But at the same time, if you don't, it's not necessarily like you missed a bunch of stuff either, because the stories are based around books, and the books are separate entities, like a Sherlock Holmes kind of thing. Not necessarily like to be continued, like find out next time. It's just, this is the whole story. So with that being said, I would I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.